time to crash.
And if you ever need a hand,
I'll be there in a flash.
Barry.
Flash's TV adventures can be fun, but they sometimes can be nowhere near perfect. Today, we're going to be talking about the biggest mistakes that the Flash series has ever made. Stick around to find out some of the most stupid things that Barry has done just because the creators of the show were too sloppy in writing their scripts. Before we continue, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell for more future uploads on The Flash. Barry is unable to count. The show starring the fastest man in the world has been a big success for the superhero genre. However, even though there is a lot to love about this series, it has loads of mistakes in it. Some of them are so unbelievable that they are making viewers laugh their butts off. Okay, so we all know Barry. He's a pretty smart guy in the show. He can often solve a complicated science problem without the help of Cisco. Before Julian popped out, he was even running the department of the Central City all by himself. But even though he is known as the big-brained guy of the series, the dude can't do some simple math. Maybe he was experiencing burnout at the moment, who knows? We can see this mistake in season 3 of the show, where the future started becoming highly important for Barry, all thanks to Savitar. He became more focused traveling to the future in the episode The Once and Future Flash, and eventually ended up traveling in the year 2024. Now, for all of you that forgot, the scene in current times in the series takes place in 2017, and throughout the whole time, Barry kept insisting that he needed to go 8 years into the future. But as far as we've counted with our fingers, 2017 and 2024 are 7 years apart and not 8. Even though this mistake is not a big deal, it did make Barry, and everyone agreed with him, look kind of like a fool. We think that the script for this episode was probably written around 2016. The mistake would be completely avoided if the creators would have double-checked the script before using it. Linda Park's face changes unexpectedly. In the written comics, Linda is Wally West's partner. She is the one whom he loves dearly, as well as the mother of his children. But in the series, Linda had a short-lived romance with Barry. Seeing this made comic book lovers feel a bit uncomfortable and even think that the show had possibly made a mistake on their end. Although, this was no mistake with the storyline. There was a big mistake that revolved around Linda. In the episode called Crazy for You in season 1, Linda was introduced for the very first time in the series. But if we go over the first season, we can see that that's not Linda. The Linda we currently know of in The Flash was originally introduced in the episode 3 Ghosts in season 2. Turns out that Linda from season 1 and the one from season 2 were played by two completely different actresses. We're just a bit shocked how no one has gone over this. Things like this do sometimes happen in TV series, but the Linda we were introduced to in season 1 was a decade older than the one we know now. She was also a reporter, while Linda who appeared in season 2 was at the beginning of becoming a journalist. What were the creators of the show even thinking about this? It looks like Eddie also has super speed. In season 1 of The Flash, Eddie was the main subject of investigation because of his last name. There was a theory going around that Eddie would eventually become the Flash in reverse. However, Eddie was never seen as being a superhuman with super speed. He was seen as an average guy. And not to offend all the Eddie fans out there, if there are any, he was one boring and bland character. But Eddie's apparent lack of super speed meant that the Revenge of the Rogues episode made little to no sense. In this episode, Barry is being attacked by Captain Cold and Heatwave. This attack takes place in a blocked city street. In the scene, Eddie rushes to save Barry by covering him with his shield. The moment itself deserves its props, as it was quite heroic, but it didn't make too much sense to viewers. Even though he has no super speed powers that we know of, he runs up to Barry in just a matter of seconds without being spotted by either Mick or Snart. What are metahumans doing in Flashpoint? Eddie's particle accelerator explosion was heard all across the globe in the Arrowverse. The explosion ended up becoming the Flashpoint that created humans with superpowers. In the actual Flashpoint timeline in the series, Barry prevents the accelerator explosion by heading off into the past. But even though he goes back in time, we could still see metahumans running everywhere. The episode continues to make no sense when Barry himself still has speed powers in Flashpoint. To not confuse users completely, the creators of the show just added some timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly excuse as to why he still has his powers. But the episode gets even weirder when Barry learns that Iris's baby brother is his speedy nemesis and that Wally West is now a speedster. This part was not explained whatsoever and just left viewers confused as to what was happening. The big mistake in the whole episode is that the creators creators of the show forgot to exclude the metahumans from being a part of the past. Barry immediately forgets about Kara. The crossover episode between The Flash and Supergirl has a pretty great installment for Supergirl's first season, to say the least. But this crossover didn't work both ways. Even though Barry was a perfect fit for Kara's world, the Flash series hadn't written the script well enough for Kara to be a perfect fit the other way around. The creators had done the sloppiest job possible when they wrote the adventures that Barry went through with Kara in the episode Versus Zoom. In the episode, we see that Barry ends up running so fast he goes into Kara's world after he uses the tachyon device. But the problem here remains that during this whole time, the rest of the team is trying to figure out a way on how to go to another world, while Barry is here doing it like it's simple math. Okay, so even if he finds a way on how to travel in a different world, why didn't he tell his team anything about it later throughout the series? Although he traveled to the wrong world, he still managed to travel. So what is stopping him from telling his team? Oh, and after he returned to his home, he acted as if he had never met Kara. That just made him look like a selfish jerk at that point. Barry is a terrible fighter. During the episode called Infantino Street, Barry is shown working with Captain Cold while walking on the wild side. In the episode, he tries to infiltrate Argus. His big plan is to get inside the HQ of Argus by disguising as one of his friends. As he is in disguise, he starts hilariously fighting the Argus guards. With one subtle kick and punch, he manages to knock them all out. Even though it's a cool moment to look at, it doesn't make visual or logical sense. Before that moment could happen, Barry had not once shown any ability of martial arts before. Maybe he has been taking some pretty good martial arts classes during that time. Throughout the whole series, Barry's fighting style doesn't get any better. He just runs fast and punches his enemy even faster, which kinda looks funny. The guy knows nothing about fighting, and it shows, as he has no finesse while doing it. Besides a couple of scenes with Oliver, we have never seen him train to become a fighter. The scene where he fights Lyla does look cool, but it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Barry mocks Superman, whom he has never met before. In the Flash and Supergirl musical crossover in the episode Duet, they only sing one song together. The song, called Super Friend, was funny, happy, and fun to watch. However, it did come with one big major error. Halfway through the song, Barry paused just for the purpose to mock Superman. On the other hand, Kara was supporting him throughout the whole time, telling him that he was good at impersonating the guy. But how does Barry know how Superman reacts if he's never met him in real life? This scene just made us confused as to what purpose it had with the rest of the episode. But we think that there are two ways to explain what Barry did here. Either Supergirl and The Flash are missing another crossover episode together where Barry worked alongside Clark Kent, or the likelier option is that the one who wrote the lyrics of Rachel Bloom from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend simply thought that Superman is famous in The Flash's reality because she wasn't too aware of what Arrowverse was all about. Which Flash mistake shocked you the most in this video? Let us know what you think down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give us a big thumbs up. Thank you for watching, guys.